show. There's someone that has a lot to think about over this past week. That
Oh, jeez.
oh
I
man,
can't believe this happened, man. I really
yeah,
can't.
I can't either. It's interesting new
Yeah.
cheating updates, Mike. I'm seeing.
All right. Let me switch from my dark mode to light mode because the text doesn't appear. So if you just saw my face get super bright, that's why. um, let me let me get this right. Okay. So what the title of the article is from Andy Chalk 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, is on PC Gamer. It's called "Easy Anti-Cheat Washes Its Hands of the Apex Legends Hacking Disaster That Saw Streamer Accounts Hijacked Live. There is no RCE vulnerability with EAC." What is
Hacked
REC?
dive. I'm hoping they talk about that because I, honest to God, I have no idea.
Yeah, I hope so. They can't just abbreviate something
I
without
saw that all over
explaining
the
it.
place on like Twitter and stuff. I was like, what does that mean? Anyway.
RCE. Okay, let's get into it. So the North American finals of the Apex Legends Global Series was postponed after 2 matches suffered hacks. Ooh, buddy. All right. So the day after the North American finals of the Apex Legends Global Series was postponed because of a mid-match hack against 2 players, Easy Anti-Cheat has issued a statement saying there is no RCE vulnerability in its software that was exploited to carry out the attack. Can you double check what RCE is so we don't have to abbreviate it
See,
every
yeah,
time?
yeah. I got a phone right here.
All right. So the first hack against Noyan uh, Jen Burton. Jen Burton. Sorry, I'm not big into the ALGS. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna butcher this. Jen Burton of Dark Zero took place during the third match of the day. He was suddenly able to see every other player on the map, even through walls, and was ultimately forced to drop out of the match. Although his teammates managed to claim second place, even though they were a man down, the second hack occurred in the next match. Imperial Hal, who I think we've watched tons of times
Yeah.
on the Titan of an org TSM, suddenly found himself saddled with an aimbot. That match was ultimately abandoned, and the North American finals were postponed due to competitive integrity of the series being compromised.
So man.
Oh, remote code execution. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
So it's either
Oh,
yeah. So
jeez.
they said it's like it's remote code execution, also known as arbitrary code execution. Essentially, it's
Okay.
the attacker's ability to run any commands or code on the attacker's choice on a target machine or in a target process. Vulnerability is a security flaw in software or hardware allowing arbitrary code execution or remote code execution, like you were saying.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
The only I think you know more about this than I do, but I'm pretty sure you're invading somebody's computer.
I mean,
Are you
yeah, at that
not?
rate. Yeah, like you have to have some sort
Yeah.
of access, right? Um,
Yeah, so isn't that a felony, I think? I'm
which
pretty
I mean,
sure
this is the thing.
pretty sure it
Like,
is.
yeah, I think look, like it shouldn't be done in the first place, but there's also probably a possibility that if it's done through the game, they probably have some sort of like backdoor into someone's like executable or something like that through the game somehow, some sort of
Yeah.
vulnerability that lets them like run against like the game code or something like that. That's probably my guess. I don't know if it's necessarily like this is the thing. I mean, unless I mean this happened to two different people, so I highly doubt they were both exploited like through like phishing or something like that to try and get access to the machine. I think it was very much
No, no,
something within the
these
game, right? Like,
yeah, these guys that are this big of like Imperial Hal is one of the biggest streamers in Apex.
yeah,
That guy, has security measures, I'm sure. He probably has like really good firewalls. He probably like uses VPNs on the regular to like hide his identity and
no,
location to make sure he's safe.
no,
If
probably
he's not,
has
then he is wild.
yeah, he
you
probably
know?
has passwords written down in a vault under lock and key.
Oh yeah, dude.
uh,
I would 100% do that. If I was a big time streamer or content creator, absolutely, I'm knocking everything down.
yeah, it's yeah, you gotta take those measures, but yeah, like I said, it's got to be some sort of vulnerability that was found in Easy Anti Cheat that they could just backdoor this execution onto their game. That's kind of just like here we are.
Oh, jeez. All right. So, how about we get into this a little bit further? The article continues. Shortly afterward, the Anti-Cheat Police Department, a volunteer group that specializes in quotes, gathering intelligence on cheats to detect and disrupt cheating vendors, issued a statement saying that an RCE, a remote code execution, was being abused in the game, and that it was unclear whether it comes from the game or the actual anti-cheat software. Remote code execution exploits enabled attackers to run software on remote machines. And they are bad news. An RCE was responsible for suspension of PC PvP servers for Dark Souls games in 2022. A similar vulnerability, mumbling over here, was discovered in GTA Online in 2023. In this case, as Anti-Cheat PD put it, RCE is being abused to inject cheats into streamers' machines, which means they have the capabilities to do whatever, like installing ransomware software,
Oh
locking up your
god.
entire PC. Boom! That is a
So
lawsuit waiting to
so
happen, bro.
so I just want to go on record by saying I am completely wrong that it could go past the actual game itself. I did not realize it was that much of a vulnerability. That is insane.
That's
Oh
insane.
my god, that is so
I
scary. Oh my god.
I did hear from somebody in a Discord. Now, I didn't want to say it until that just got done. But they told me, they were like, if you have Apex installed, they were recommending you uninstall Windows and
That is
reinstall it
insane.
because it could be vulnerable.
Hmm. Yeah. So yeah,
Jesus.
I would say, ladies and gentlemen, uninstall Apex at the very minimum. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't have it on
That's
your machine right now.
wild.
Dude, that is. I mean, granted, most people aren't going to be targets. I feel like, but
Oh, most people
um,
know.
but like this is like, I mean, dude, if you're Hal or something like that, if I'm like your security guy, I'm telling you to change everything. Like, I don't care. Like, you need to like all your
Oh,
passwords and stuff like
oh
that. You need to
yeah.
just you need to act like you are fully hacked at this point, because that's not good.
Bro, if I'm a pro player and like I know it's your job, right? And you're a professional streamer, this is how you make your money. I would immediately uninstall everything and basically go talk to a lawyer. Like
Yeah.
straight up because it's like
Like,
it's your livelihood, it's your personal security and
yeah.
safety that's at risk because of an exploit.
Like,
Like
yeah,
how did this happen?
like at this rate to me, it's kind of house on fire. Like, just take care of it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like just be careful, take care of it, kind of thing.
This is wild. Holy crap. Okay, so how this attack happened still isn't known, but earlier today, Easy Anti Cheat issued a statement disavowing responsibility, of course, because they know they'll get sued into oblivion.
Shit.
Um, we have investigated recent reports of potential RCE issue within Easy Anti Cheat. It tweeted. At this time, we are confident there is no RCE vulnerability within EAC being exploited. We will continue to work closely with our partners for any follow-up support needed. Okay, that's a CYA
Hmm.
note if I've ever seen one in my life.
Yeah.
Um,
Doesn't get them out of
Easy
the
anti-cheat.
it doesn't get
Trash, by
easy.
the way.
It doesn't get easy anti cheat out of the weeds on that. But like, they still have to make sure they do due diligence.
I
But yeah.
just had an epiphany.
Also,
Oh no.
easy anti cheat, Mike. Like you were just saying, not the best. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, it's
it's been
trash, dude.
exploited so many times. Like,
Dude, in Halo Master Chief Collection, people are cheating all the time. And easy
yeah.
anti-cheats in that. They recently moved Halo Infinite from their anti-cheat, which obviously doesn't exist. People have been cheating since day one that game came out. Freaking morons over there. And they switched from their anti-cheat over to easy anti-cheat.
Yeah.
It's like if this comes out that easy anti-cheat is the one that had the exploit and they're basically denying any type of responsibility, like bro, I'm chalking every game that has easy anti-cheat into the sun. And there are a good list over here. Okay, so
Yep. Yep.
making the statement that I just read even more notable is the fact that it's first time Easy Anti Cheat has tweeted. Oh, that's the first time it's tweeted since May 2019. Holy moly, 5 years basically.
Yep.
Clearly, the company considers it an important issue, and for good reason. Rooting out where the vulnerability lies in Easy Anti-Cheat or Apex Legends itself is hugely important, as it could determine whether this RCE is contained to one game or potentially deployable in other games that use Easy Anti-Cheat. That's what I'm getting at, which is Fortnite, War Thunder, Lost Ark, Elden Ring, and Hunt Showdown. Fortnite, imagine dude, that's like how many millions of people have played Fortnite at
Oh.
least once that are exposed.
I love too at the end,
Dude.
like it lists what 5 games, and then he says to name a few. Like, there's a lot of easy
Yo,
anti cheat games.
dude.
This is the thing. Like,
Halo?
I
Oh
I
gosh.
want to be optimistic about this for easy anti cheat sake, and just say that it's a vulnerability with Apex because we haven't seen this exploit Like aside from what, like they mentioned GTA had it. There's like one other like thing that had it was like a mod or something like that. But like
Yeah.
outside of that, I mean, we haven't seen any broad issues with RCEs across like other games, so it makes me optimistic for easy anti-cheat. However, like if it if it comes out that they find a vulnerability, oh man, that's rough because there's a lot of questions they're gonna have to answer, and yeah, there's gonna be some new probably
Yeah.
anti-cheat software coming up to try and steal their crown because
I see. I think RCE, now that we know what it is, I consider that to be more malicious, because when I see
yeah
people that cheat in video games, it's mostly like to troll or to make themselves feel better.
yeah
It's kind of like a bullying tactic
it's
in a gaming
yeah
sense.
like it's I don't know it's for them, right? Like it's not
Yes.
like it's not for anyone else, or it's not
Yeah.
intrusive, I guess is the best way to say.
Yeah, but to log into somebody else's machine, essentially, and
Yeah,
then rewrite the code live,
to have that
dude.
kind of backdoor is just terrifying, I think, if you're
They have access. If they have access to that, they literally have access to every single folder in your computer,
yeah.
probably including the remnants that are left behind when you try to delete them.
Better not store
Like,
passwords in any text files on your machine, or you're donezo. And this
or your
like
browser
like
extensions and stuff.
like
You're
yeah,
done.
like see, I the thing like I'm not like super well versed in it, but I'm fairly confident in stuff like aside from like a breach to like a LastPass or like a keeper or something like that. Aside from like a
Oh yeah,
direct breach, it's pretty difficult to get access to like they have a lot of security measures in place on the browser side to make it so that like if your browser data is somehow stolen, like it's not
yeah.
gonna there's no way they can get into that because it's very isolated. um and I've heard of issues too of like I got hit with a Discord exploit last year from someone that like was someone I went to college with, and they were like a computer engineer, like
They're
they
trying to
they
mess with
they
you.
were like a programmer, and like someone it's a really funny story. Someone from Turkey, like some random guy, somehow hacked their Discord account and started spamming other people, and and it was someone that I knew in college as a software engineer. They were talking about making a game, and so I was like, oh,
Yeah.
like surely it's like okay, like yeah, sure, I'll check out your game. I should have known from the start it was bad, and I shouldn't have done anything. It was my fault. But like I ended up like downloading some random extension, and then before
Oh
I knew it,
no.
they had access to my Discord account. They started like messaging other people. I'm like freaking out. This is a lesson, ladies and gentlemen. You absolutely need to have 2FA on anything you have, because
Oh, I
2FA
do.
was what saved me. If I didn't have 2FA, like it would have probably taken me months to get my account back, and it just would have been like toast. But like
Yeah.
thankfully I had 2FA, so they could not update my password or anything like that, and I was able to just like log them out like remotely, and then I was able to change my stuff. But like I remember at the time I was like panicking, like one of my roommates like
Swipe.
I was hitting him, I was like, dude, like I don't know what they have, like freaking out. I'm like sitting there, I have some password managers and stuff like that too, so I'm like freaking out thinking they may have got access to that. I'm like changing all sorts of passwords. Thankfully it was just Discord and it was isolated to that. But it's like but I think it's like when I did more research further into what exactly they did,
Yeah.
I saw kind of what they get access to, and essentially what it is those it's a thing to never I learned from that day to never ever use a password manager that's in browser, whether it's like Chrome's password manager or Firefox password manager. Never use an in browser password manager, because it is actually surprising how easy it is to extract that out of the actual like browser data itself, and so it like renders it useless because it's pretty easy to get. So I don't know, from that I'd already been using password managers before that were outside of browsers, so like I was good. But like that's if anything that's a
Could get
lesson to
cooked.
yeah, you could easily get cooked if you store passwords and account information or even credit card information, anything like that inside your browser. It's
Yeah.
just not a good idea, because that stuff is
Oh, I
actually
never
easier
do.
to get than you think.
Ever.
Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. But yeah, all that to say, like, this RCE, someone gets access to that, has access to stuff in your PC. It's like, oh baby,
GG's.
GG's, dude. Better get a antivirus software and start scanning, dude.
I got some crazy stories I could give you about all the different hacking that I've seen happen,
Yeah,
especially at like places I've worked, holding entire servers ransom.
yeah,
Just
that's
crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, I don't know. Be careful of, especially in the workplace stuff. Be careful of emails. Be careful of random like
Mhm.
communications. It gets pretty nuts. But yeah, but in
Yes.
this, it's like, see, it's scary for something like this though. Is because it's like I'm going on a limb and assuming that Imperial Howl nothing to make himself vulnerable. It's just literally entirely like through, something out of his control, which is like really scary. So
It's absolutely terrifying. But how about we go ahead and wrap up the rest of this article because there's a couple of things about Epic Online Services that they tweeted out and gave in a statement. So after that, we'll just go ahead and jump to the next article. So the article continues on saying Epic Online Services later confirmed the statement in a separate tweet. So the separate tweet was, "We have investigated recent reports of potential RCE issue in the Apex Legends, which we have confirmed to be unrelated to Easy Anti-Cheat. We are confident there is no RCE vulnerability with EAC being exploited." Kind of interesting because Epic Games acquired Easy Anti-Cheat in 2018. So
interesting.
maybe they're, yeah, I didn't know that. So this is new to me.
Hmm.
Um, Yeah, reacting to EAC's tweet, Anti-Cheat PD said it indicates the issue lies with the source engine itself, which Apex Legends uses. And that could be similarly to a vulnerability detailed in 2021. So Respawn has yet to comment on the hack. So big question, how did this happen? And what's the risk of playing Apex Legend? Remains unanswered. There are also no indication about at this point for North American finals of the ALGS will resume, but it's fair to assume that is not going to happen until Respawn is confident the game is secured. I've reached out to EA for comment and will update if I receive a reply. And that last little statement is from Andy Chalk over at PC Gamer,
Shulk.
which is wild that they have no idea yet. Now, this was a couple of days ago,
Yeah.
and by the time this episode comes out, maybe we're going to have an actual release of what the heck happened.
Yeah.
So,
I want to know the conclusion, that's for sure. So
absolutely, dude. This is insane.